welcome to this month's edition of Roanoke County Today. I'm Teresa Hall, Roanoke County's Public Information Director. Construction and plans are moving right along on the county's capital projects. We'll take a look at two of them, including the Fire and Rescue Station, which is expected to open later this summer. Plus, we'll take a look at the new plans for the new South County Library. Hope you'll stay with us. You may have read or heard about the changes to the design of the new South County Library. Diana Rosapep is Director of Roanoke County's Library Services and is here to bring us up to date on the project. Diana, thank you so much for your time. And I thought before we actually talked about the changes to the design that perhaps for our viewers we could give them a little bit of history about the project, where it's planned to go and maybe reasons behind the need for it.
Well, to some degree this has been a very long project. A great need, but a long project, and it began 3 years ago in a design phase that went through a complete design of the library and then went out to bid and was unfortunately beyond our budget.
Right.
So it had to be brought back and redesigned, and that's the stage we're in right now. We've completed the redesign and will now go back out to bid very shortly. And the project itself, the library, is going to be built on a large acreage across from Penn Forest Elementary School off Merriman Road.
And tell us about the need for the project. Why that the county saw this as a need for the citizens?
Well, this particular library that we're in right now, if anyone has been in it or visited,
419 headquarters.
419 headquarters library, you know it's a very busy building, and the constant traffic in and out and the people passing and coming and going, it's amazingly undersized. It's about a third of the size that it should be to meet the needs of the citizens who come in here. I don't know if people realize how many people come in this building. It's over 400,000 visitors a year to a tiny little library.
It's an amazing number.
It is, and 500,000 items circulating a year and things like that. The net result is that this is the busiest library west of Richmond. So it's quite an overwhelmed facility, and the need's been apparent for a long time, and that's when the design process started.
And you originally bid the project, and the bids came back higher than expected. But during that process, there was a particular design that went out to the public, and so they had one mental image of what the library was going to look like. But in reality, when you bid again next, or actually this month, the design looks somewhat different. Correct?
It does
a little bit.
It's the exterior mainly that looks different. The functionality's been preserved. The public spaces are the same. All the services that we were trying to upgrade to and offer are still there. So it won't have an impact on how the citizens use the library, but there is some change that's visible to the public. The exterior of the library has less glass than it had before. It has also some panels in it now that replace the glass, which make the building look different, a different color. The building in the rendering, as you look at it, looks a bit smaller or shorter. That's a little bit deceptive. That's mainly because of the angle that the rendering is drawn from. The old one looked from one view, which made it look very long. This one is from a different view, which kind of foreshortens the picture.
And there were a lot of curves in the original design, and like you said, flatter now. Somewhat.
This one is more rectangular in shape, less curvilinear.
I think you've said before that you think the public will be okay with the new design because the functionality remains the same for it.
I think they'll be very impressed with it when they see it. It's a little deceptive maybe to look at that picture and think, oh, well, that's not quite what the other one was. Well, it's just it's like the cousin of the other one. It's still a great building.
Good way to put it.
And the functions in it are going to be so amazing. People will be very excited when they see them.
Give us a snapshot of the inside.
Well, if you come in the when you come in the when you come in the entryway of the building, to your left, you'll see the new community center and all the services that are offered over there. The meeting rooms and the entrance to the auditorium, the Friends book sale, the small coffee shop, and an information commons area where people can relax and peruse materials and perhaps have a cup of coffee or whatever they want. That's off to the left. And to the right, what you see is all the new materials, the new books, the new movies, all the exciting products that are being offered. The central staircase organizes the whole library, and just beyond the new book materials, you'll see that central staircase going up to the second floor. It's a really beautiful open staircase, and people will be able to see throughout the library. There are no real obstructions to your view line in this building, so it's not like the current library where
I was going to say very different.
Yes, everywhere you look there's a wall, so or a post.
Well, it sounds like it's a modern design, truly.
It is, and it's the first one that I know of, certainly in the region, and as the architect keeps telling me, it's the only library designed like this in all of Virginia, so I think people are going to be pretty amazed when they see it.
Well, talk about the timeline. Now, the bids go out in June, and then take us from there.
When the bids go out in June, the bidding process should be completed by the end of July, and shortly after that we expect to award a bid to a qualified construction company, and sometime, I would think, very shortly after that, within a week or so, we should be able to begin construction at the new site, and finally the project will get underway. Concurrently with that, the roundabout that everyone's heard about, the road design, will also be getting underway.
Okay.
When school is not in session and there's no conflict with buses and parent
Makes
traffic.
sense.
Yes.
All right, and then opening date, target, I know those things are hard to project.
They really are, but they do expect very early in 2011 or perhaps late in 2010. So we may get back on very close to the original schedule.
Well,
here.
I certainly know, Diana, through this project that we've seen a lot of people who support it and who are really looking forward to it.
I think so. We hear it every day. People just want to know when it's going to happen, not if it should. So, and we're anxious to tell them that it'll be any day now.
All right, Diana, as always, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. I'm Dan O'Donnell, Assistant County Administrator. I'm here with Brent Robertson, who is the Director of Management and Budget for Roanoke County, and we're here to talk about the challenging budget process that we just went through. Welcome, Brent.
Thank you.
This year, Brent, we just completed the budget process, and it was a challenging year. Can you tell us why it was challenging and what we did to get through this process?
Okay. You are correct. It was a very challenging budget year, and I think the main reason is really no secret to anyone. The economic downturn that's affected the national and state economies has certainly affected our economy as well, and our revenues. One of the largest declines that we saw were in our property taxes, and property taxes make up about 70% of our overall budget, and I think we're all aware of the housing market and what's happened there, as well as a lot of the economically driven revenues that's driven by consumerism, like meals tax, sales tax, business license tax, have also been appreciably down this year.
Now, how much was the budget actually decreased from the previous year?
The adopted budget for the fiscal 2010 year was approximately $4 million less than the year before.
Now, we've heard a lot about the federal government's stimulus funds. How did that impact, if at all, how did that impact our budget?
Well, directly it really did not impact it a lot. However, indirectly we did receive a great deal of benefit. Some of the stimulus funds that flowed through to the state did allow the state not to cut aid to localities, for example, through the constitutional officers as well as law enforcement monies that we were slated for some cuts in that we did not receive. In addition, the Roanoke County Schools received quite a bit of additional monies, a little over $3 million, that allowed them to not do some drastic changes through program cuts or layoffs that they may have experienced as well. So that did help Roanoke County in total quite a bit.
Right. So, and that's just a good point, as we do work closely with the school board and cooperatively formulate both the school budget and the county budget, so that flexibility they had because of the federal funds really helped us out quite a bit.
Oh, absolutely.
How about the staffing and personnel issues? If you're decreasing the budget, which we had to do this year, what impact did that have on the staffing and personnel of the county?
Well, as departments looked at restructuring their budget, and we did ask departments to reduce their budgets in this year, or the 2000 year, by almost $3 million. So that was a pretty big change. We did not go through any layoffs. We did discuss that, but we did not have to do that. However, we were able to reduce overall positions by 12 in the county through the departmental restructurings. These, once again, were not layoffs. They were vacant positions that we have elected to remain open through the next fiscal year.
Another thing just to point out is that we also have instituted what's called a job bank program, where now positions have to be thoroughly reviewed before we fill them, and I think we've at least temporarily frozen quite a few. Do you know how many we've frozen roughly?
That's kind of a fluid number, but at one point we were up to having about 23 positions frozen. Right. I think it's a little under that as we've released some of the public safety positions, right, but it's probably somewhere around the 12 to 15 range right now.
Okay. And how about the service levels of department? Obviously, when you're decreasing funding to departments, then some of the services also have to change. Can you give us some examples of that?
Yes. The Board of Supervisors asked us to minimize the service level impact on the citizens as much as possible. And that was done mostly through a lot of internal services that would not be apparent to the citizen. However, some of the services that the citizens will notice will be VDOT median mowing will be much reduced. As a matter of fact, Parks and Rec has eliminated that as we go into the next fiscal year. As well as youth sports games will be reduced by 10% to save on official costs and some maintenance costs. The Blue Ridge Visitor Center was opened a month later this year. Those were just some. There were some others that the board elected to restore as part of the budget through library services, but most of the reductions in service levels will flow through at the internal departmental levels.
Okay. Now we're already, even though it's only June, we're already talking about next fiscal year budget preparation. Can you tell us what some of your early predictions are for revenues next year? Do you think it's going to get better, or are we still going to have to continue to tighten things up?
I think that if you read the newspaper and listen to the news today, there's some optimism as far as what the economy's doing. However, at the governmental level, as we prepare for next year, I think we still have some very significant challenges to deal with. Economic changes from a national level affect governmental revenues very slowly. So we expect anywhere from a year to 2 year lag when the economy picks up. We will still be having much less growth or slower growth at the local level. So I think there's still some very difficult decisions that need to be made as we formulate the 2011 and quite possibly the 2012 Roanoke County budget.
Well, Brent, the one bright part of this, I think, is that it has brought our departments together, because we really did work on how to cut our budgets in a collaborative fashion, and I think we've got great people working here, and even though the future's still questionable how it's going to be in terms of revenue, I think we'll get through it and with the least possible disruption of services. And I'd just like to thank you and your department for pulling this all together. You've done a great job.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Roanoke County's libraries strive to make the most of technology, and one of the key players behind the county's success is a young lady named Carrie Osby, who is head of technical services for Roanoke County Libraries. Carrie, of course, is joining me, as well as her boss, Diana Rosapep, who is head of Roanoke County's Library Services. Carrie, congratulations on receiving this national award, which, Diana, you're actually going to fill us in on.
Yes, Carrie is the 2009 recipient of the Lyricist Next Gen Award for Initiative. Carrie deserves special recognition for this because she is the only public library librarian chosen to receive a Lyricist Award this year. All the other recipients were from academic libraries, so we consider it a double honor to be chosen for this. Carrie has worked with us for 6 years and has been from the very beginning a master of technology.
Yes, she is.
Created many programs for us. She's tackled all kinds of projects. She's just a key player in our library system, and we're very dependent on everything she does. So we're very proud of her, and we congratulate her for her award.
There were actually 5 recipients of this award, correct? And
Of the Next Gen Award.
Of the
yes.
Next Gen Award, and how did that make you feel to know it's a national award, and you're one of just 5 people?
Surprised and pleased, I guess. I just really try and do my best job I can with my job, and it was really very nice to be recognized for the award.
Tell us a little bit about some of the work that you've done that helped you to secure this honor.
We've really tried to work as a group in tech services to become really responsive and be a very integral part of the library system. I also participate on county committees outside of here. I'm currently trying out the Facebook and Twitter accounts for the library to try and reach out to more people through that. In the South County Library, I tried to work with people. We did a technology plan to see what technology and needs we needed for the new building too.
Let's talk about your work with Twitter and Facebook for just a second, because those have been very successful. So it's a way of using technology to reach young people, really, and in a new way.
We try and reach everybody through it. It was a new opportunity to let people know about the materials and services our library offers, as well as what programs are going on. Hopefully it's a place, if people are on Facebook or on Twitter, they can just go ahead and check in on us and see what's going on that day or what's going to go on for the month.
And how many followers have you been able to get?
We are over 400 followers on Twitter right now, and
Check all the time.
Well, the number keeps going up and
It
up.
does.
right, and I believe the number on Facebook is over 200 now. So we're pleased. We're pleased that people are interested in us.
And I'm sure
following us.
you as a librarian or head librarian are pleased to have young people with initiative.
Absolutely, and I'm pleased to have people who understand how to use Twitter and Facebook
That's
effectively.
true too, yes.
And I think it's especially noteworthy because it's been kind of a cold start. There was no publicity and no big push to announce this. Carrie just put her accounts out there and made them interesting enough, and they were picked up by various groups, and now she does have a pretty dedicated following. Every time I check it, there are more people on it. One of the more interesting ones I thought was the Milton Keynes Library in London started following her, and they've contacted us since then, and they want to undertake some projects with it. And part of it is because Carrie's sort of emphasis on ways to use technology and all that brought them in, made us a consideration for their project. So we're kind of excited about it.
Well, I think it's particularly timely too, given the budget situation facing the county, that you found a way to really communicate and share information in a very cost-effective way too.
Right. Yeah. It's been. I think it's been a good thing to do.
She's been instructing those of us who are of a certain age too and how to use these things, so we thought it was educational.
And I think helping a lot of people in the county, and I just want to offer my congratulations to you, Carrie.
Thank you very much.
All right. And stay with us, everyone.
I'm Jennifer Conley Sexton, the Volunteer and Marketing Coordinator with Roanoke County Fire and Rescue Department. I'm on the construction side of the county's newest fire and rescue station. Along with me today is Division Chief Todd Maxey to tell us how the project is coming along. Hi, Chief Maxey.
Jennifer, welcome back to the site. We've come a long way since February. Right now our project is about 70% complete overall, building and outside site work. Since February, as you can see, we've had a lot of masonry change to the building on the exterior. We have our brick, we have our stone, and we have our ground face block. Also inside, all of our slab floors are in. We actually have a footprint inside of our building where all our walls are up and our spaces are laid out with all our rough ends as we continue to work towards finish.
Okay, so it's really starting to take shape. You can see the different rooms coming together.
Yes, you can definitely see all the different rooms and individual spaces inside the structure.
Okay, now right behind us, this is the front of the building that faces Hirschberger Road. Will this be the main entrance for the general public?
Yes, the way we have designed the building is we wanted to try to focus on a main entrance for our fire station, and this will face Hirschberger Road, and the opening you see there is actually our our storefront doors that haven't gone in yet, but that will be the focal point for the main entrance for any public that may be coming in or need to stop by.
Okay, great. I just love the brickwork and the stonework. It's so attractive, I think, and in keeping with the neighborhood, right?
Yes, that was one of the things we tried to consider with the project, and at this time we're really happy with the looks of that.
Looks great. All right, let's go around to the side of the building and take a look at maybe the Bay Area.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Chief Maxey, we're here in the Bay Area now. Tell me what apparatus will be housed here.
Jennifer, here in the Bay, we're looking at having three pieces of apparatus to start out when we staff this station. We're going to have a fire pumper, and then we'll have a medic unit, and then we'll have an on-duty battalion chief. So looking at 3 pieces.
Okay, so we have 3 bays and 3 pieces, so they'll get to drive right on through from one end to the other, right?
It's designed to have a three-bay drive-through. Takes out some of the, hopefully some of the backing accidents, and enables the personnel here to drive through one area in position in order to drive out and be ready for response on a call.
Okay, safer for the equipment and for the staff as well.
Yes.
All right, okay. You know, it's been nearly 20 years since we built a station in Roanoke County. Why was it so necessary now to build this station here and at this time?
The main reason was the call volume in this area. The Hollins area is the largest call volume throughout the county, and our closest station is the Hollins station off Barron's Road, and the sheer number of calls they get takes a lot of time, and what we did is, or what we have done is built this station in order to take some of those calls and split that area up. So the call volume is the reason.
Okay, all right. August was the target date when we talked back in February. Are we still on target?
We are still on for target. G&H is doing us a great job to try to meet that schedule, and we're looking at August.
Okay, and then we'll have some sort of open house where the public can come by and take a look?
Yes, at some time we will have something like that. Very preliminary details are starting, of course, for a building dedication, and then some type of open house, whether it's either on the same day or a different day, in order for the public to be able to come in and see what we have.
Great. Thanks, Chief Maxey, for giving us this sneak peek of this station as it comes along. If people want more information, though, they can go to our website, which is roanokecountyva.gov/fire and rescue.
That's all for this month's edition of Roanoke County Today. We leave you now with some of the sights and sounds from the ribbon cutting celebrating completion of the stream restoration at Garce Mill Park. Hope to see you again next month.
This is one project that I could probably, in looking out at this crowd, every one of you I could thank, because I know, and I look at all these faces out here, and I think 90% of you had something to do with this project, and in particular, and there's a lot of people to thank. What I want to focus on is a couple people from the Roanoke County staff, Lon Williams, who took the lead from the Parks and Recreation side of this project, and then also George Simpson, a county engineer, who really took a lead, was the lead person on the grant, and really were the folks responsible for keeping this thing going and getting us to the point we're here today, we're at today. And John Chambliss just walked in from the back, and John, Assistant County Administrator, who's going to retire here in the next few months. And John, I will tell you from my perspective, I was hired in Roanoke County about almost 16 years ago. My first week on the job, and this is a true story, John Chambliss rode me around Roanoke County to some of the parks, and the first one he came to was Garce Mill, and he said, "Pete," pointed to the stream banks that were eroding away, and he said, "This is a problem we need to fix." So 16 years later, I'm happy to say, we fixed it. I would like to say that I'm particularly proud of this project, not because we finally got it done, but that the work that we did together as a team within Roanoke County, in particular, between the drainage crew and Parks and Rec, it's what Roanoke County is all about. And what makes it such a great place to work, in my opinion. So I want to thank those folks. So
when you have so many groups come together to do a great project, and then the learning process in the process, because I remember 10, 12 years ago when these banks used to be cut all the way down, and then Pete and his staff, which is just some great expertise, said we're helping the erosion process by mowing so close to the stream, so we're going to let the grass grow up. And how would I find that out? I called to complain because I said, it looks terrible. Why is the grass not cut by the stream anymore? And so it's an education process. It was for me as well. And the end result is really fabulous. And I thank you all for the parts that you've had in pulling this project together.
As Pete said, we've really been working on this creek project for several years. We finally got serious in 2000 as a result of the Regional Stormwater Master Plan. We built a large facility at the high school that addresses flooding and water quality. So that actually helps the water quality and the flooding situation down in this park. In 2003, we came under the compliance efforts with the Clean Water Act. The county is required to do certain things. So we began using stream interns, primarily from Virginia Tech during the summer, to do stream assessment. And they would come and actually put on the boots and walk the creeks and take measurements and take photographs and GPS and give us information for feedback. And our goal was to really judge the quality of the streams in Roanoke County. So from that information, we found out about here in Garce Mill Park, specifically Mudlick Creek, that there were areas, and I'll point you to the TV when you get a chance to look at those. We had 8-foot cuts that were dangerous. I know Pete had put up safety fence so the kids wouldn't fall in the creek. And the good thing about that was that problem is not only his problem, it's our problem from a water quality standpoint. So we saw that if we fix that, we could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Obviously, the erosion areas, and again, be sure and see the tape here. A lot of areas where silt was washing into Mudlick Creek and going down to Mudlick Creek, and pollutants getting into our waters. We saw where the trees and the natural vegetation were missing. We saw where the stream had actually moved probably 20 to 25 feet downstream because of development upstream. Increases in flows have major impacts on creeks, especially urban creek settings like we have in Mudlick Creek here.
Roanoke County has a history of establishing partnerships and working together in a collaborative effort to solve situations, issues, and so forth. And there's 16 different agencies and groups that work together that have been listed. I'm going to go through this because I think they need to be recognized. Of course, it comes from the Board of Supervisors. We have Ms. Moore, Mr. McNamara here today, but also the other board members who are presently on the board and in the past have supported these type of efforts. And then you have the Roanoke County Drainage Crew, the guys who are probably still out working somewhere. I think Butch works with them, and I actually walked up on them one day working on something. I don't think I scared them, but I think I woke them up. They were busy working. They were busy working. They were good. They're good guys, so don't misconstrue that. But we also, with Pete, his Roanoke County Parks, Recreation, and Tourism staff, they have done a lot of work here. Of course, we've had DCR here, McCormick Taylor Engineers and Planners, the Upper Roanoke River Roundtable, the Garce Mill Park Partners, and Cub Scout volunteers. I've been through Cub Scouts, so I know how that is. That's great. Also, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the Department of Environmental Quality, DEQ, the Western Virginia Land Trust, the Roanoke Valley Greenway Commission, Pathfinders for Greenways, the Virginia Department of Game and Inland Fisheries, the United States Fish and Wildlife Service, Virginia Save Our Streams, and Clean Valley Council. And I'm sure there's some other groups that were probably involved on the peripheral working together. And I think you can see that when we all come together, 16 or more groups, something very positive that can help the people that we're trying to serve, our citizens, our taxpayers, and give them something that they can see that has a great benefit to their day-to-day lives, but also address the sustainability issues that we all are dealing with right now as we try to deal with environmental issues in our country. So I have the pleasure to thank everybody here and tell you that as long as I'm working for Roanoke County, I hope to continue this type of collaborative effort. Like George said, hopefully we can get some additional funding. We know it's tight, the budget and so forth, but I've been in local government 31 years. It's a cycle. We just need to be prepared to deal with it when the cycle goes back up again. so we can have plans identified and areas identified and have our different partners coming together so we can identify projects and get started immediately as soon as funds become available. So I welcome you to this site. Thank you for coming, and I want to congratulate everybody, and what a good job done. Thank you.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Good job, y'all. We have a project.